It's Captain Matt here with Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about outdoor lighting. This is my first podcast from the new office. I've got just a white background right now. Super pumped for what we're working on here, but the background in reality doesn't matter. The content stays the same. And today, it's the middle of February. I've been in Christmas for 17 years. This is going to be my 18th Christmas coming up, this 2026. Talking to guys and seeing things, working with them. There's so many people that are out of Christmas cash already, and it's the middle of February. What in the actual fuck is going on? Too often, Christmas is just this Christmas cash. We use it for Christmas time. We buy Christmas gifts. We feel like we're kings of the world for November, December, and even parts of January. But why is it that on such a profitable business, you're already out of cash in the middle of fucking February? That's not okay. That's not how a real operator, a badass, plans. Like, your Christmas cash matters, right? And so depending on what you do, I know a lot of guys in Christmas have other businesses, and Christmas becomes this supplemental thing, this fourth quarter thing when there's no other work outside, so they become Christmas light installers. Other guys, they add it on, they do all of outdoor lighting, landscape lighting, soffit lighting, Christmas lighting. But why? Why does the first quarter collapse in the outdoor service world affect us all so dramatically? Especially when I see the numbers being posted, guys doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, 500, 750. Well, I know the margins on Christmas and what you should be at. So how do you not have money? Are you not planning your takedowns? There's some companies that don't even have all their takedowns done yet. Now, some have ice and snow. I get it, right? You can't really combat that. Others are just waiting. Right? They're out of money. So now they can't afford to send the guys out to do takedown. That is not okay. That's not how your life should be like. So if you're in Christmas and it's the middle of February and you're out of Christmas cash, something is totally wrong in your business. You need to stop and take a deep look at what the fuck is going on. Because I promise you, if you're doing six figures in Christmas, you should not be out of money already. You shouldn't be. Something's wrong. Monthly overhead, your fixed cost, your spending habits, something is wrong. What is that? Now, a lot of guys use Christmas to make right the other 9 months of the year, or technically 10, right? So maybe they operate at a deficit knowing that Christmas is coming. Christmas comes in. They take all that would-be net profit and use it to fund the debt payment, the debt repayments from the rest of the year, because they didn't make enough, but they're operating at a level all year long that they shouldn't be operating at. That is one of the most difficult things about Christmas. So when it comes to Christmas, a couple things here that I want to say. It should be treated as a separate branch of your business, no matter what. I'm not saying it needs a new name, a new identity, a new website, or anything like that. But it should be treated as something separate, because Christmas cash can cloud your judgment on the entire rest of your business. You can create a sub account inside your account. It doesn't cost any extra money. Put all your Christmas money into that. Every deposit, every payment, every payroll, every purchase, right? So it doesn't get mixed in with your landscape lighting. It doesn't get mixed in with your power washing. It doesn't get mixed in with your hardscaping. It doesn't get mixed in with your garage floors. It's separate, because while it is the same business, the service is different. So when you're looking at your business as a whole, and you're not going to consider the fact that each service is going to provide not only a different gross profit, but also a different net profit if it only existed, you are going to make the wrong assumptions and judgments about your business. Maybe Christmas is fine. Maybe how you're charging, how you're running it is beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it. But then your other business is losing money. So when you look at your business as a whole, you can say, well, Christmas isn't working, power washing isn't working, landscaping isn't working, whatever the fuck it is, because you're mixing it all together. The same thing I do, right? So my soffit lights are separate than my landscape lights are separate than the Christmas lights, because then I can take an honest look at each division, same company, same website, same invoicing, all that, but bucketed differently. I can see where the issues lie, and I can see where the wins are lying. So I know, okay, I make more money on this, I should push forward on this. Or holy shit, every time I do a soffit lighting job, I'm breaking even. So even though I'm doing 200, 300 soffit lighting jobs a year, I'm just breaking even on those. And then I'm making a ton of money on landscape lighting. So at the end of the year, maybe I'm netting 20,000, even though I did 800,000, 750,000, 400,000, whatever the case might be. Right? Because one service drops the entire company down. So you can't make a clear distinction on what the issue is. So it's super important to bucket these together. Because if you're doing a ton of money in Christmas and have no money come February, it's not Christmas's fault. Right? There's something going on with inside your business beyond the Christmas season. But what is that? You have to be able to dive in and take a hard look. Because if you're charging, I mean, we all know, right? Like you can do it by the foot, you can do it by the job, all that shit. There's a generalized pricing that's kind of agreed upon in the industry within a couple dollars a foot for roof lines, a couple dollars a strand for minis. And I don't care if you're purchasing or if you're selling, if you're renting or whatever it might be, there's like an industry average that happens. And most of the guys I'm talking about that I see this issue are charging that or more. So they should not be out of money in the middle of February. They should be able to ride that fucking wave until June and not even do a job. But if it's happening and it happens more than once, it's not a fluke. It's something that we must plan for. Like for me, I have my first quarter collapse where gemstones work is slower. I can't do landscape lighting because the ground is completely frozen, rock solid. And obviously Christmas is over. So my first quarter is my slowest quarter. So I used to struggle every first quarter. Oh my God, how am I going to make payroll? How am I going to do this? Because I can't lose my guys, right? So I have to find something for them to do, develop some sort of work, even break even work for my guys to do. But now, so many years of the first quarter collapse happening, right? I plan for it. So I have, 3 different accounts. I have a lot more than 3, but in what we're talking about, 3 different accounts: January, February, March. Each of those is funded by the rest of the year, right? So I know looking at my accounts and my money game sheet that I use and the captain's crew guys use, the ones that are in my mentoring program, that has to fill up. Those buckets have to fill up to protect January, February, March, so that when I come into the first quarter, knowing it is slower, this is a planned thing. It's happening until I figure out what flip the switch or what switch to flip or whatever. It's going to happen. So instead of having to freak out every January, February, March, I plan for it in April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, right? I try to fill up my January, February, March accounts as fast as possible. Beginning of the year when money starts really rolling in again, right? Once the spring hits here in upstate New York. I fund January through March. Those are in the account. They're not touched. So as soon as that happens, then I know, hey, I'm all set for 2027. So first quarter, if I sell no jobs, which isn't going to happen, right? I never sell 0 jobs. I know we're fine. So it takes that pressure off, and it's a planned thing so that I'm not freaking out, running around thinking, oh my God, everything is going to collapse. I've been there. I've done that. I've lived that life. It fucking sucks. You shouldn't be there. So whether you call it, you have the war chest is your savings. And that's even different for me than my January, February, March accounts. Because January, February, March are planned, slower. I don't actually need to fully fund 1 full month in January through March because I know there's going to be work. I know there's going to be money and revenue coming in, right? So I know always at least half of my overhead for sure is covered almost by accident, right? Like not by accident, but no matter what I do, I know at least half should come in. So as long as I have half my overhead in each month, I am free to breathe. I'm free to move more things into my war chest. I'm free to move more into advertising. I'm free to move more into new vans, new trucks, new whatever the fuck it is, because I know I am now protected during the months that I've already identified over the years that have always been an issue. An issue month that doesn't repeat itself could be a fluke, but months that are historically and always the same isn't a fluke, and you need to plan for it. So if you start collecting deposits now, I know there's a lot of guys collecting deposits right now for Christmas work for 2026 Christmas. I hope to God you are keeping that money separate. I hope to God you are planning and you are thoughtfully committing every dollar that comes in for Christmas towards that. Because I've seen it happen where then you are just going to be in this constant robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're going to get into Christmas with no money for payroll. So the only way you can afford to do the Christmas jobs that you already had people pay for is to sell more Christmas jobs. And all the money you get from that Christmas job goes to pay for the labor to do the jobs that already paid because you already spent the money. And then those jobs, well, shit, how do I get these ones? I have to sell more jobs to cover these jobs that I just closed because these jobs are actually covering these jobs, right? That's insane. And you cannot continue to operate that way. You have to be thoughtful and plan your money. Protect it. If you know that Christmas costs you a set amount, 150, 175,000 in payroll each year, well, as you're taking deposits, don't touch that money until you get to that amount, right? If it takes you $200,000 in payroll to do installs and takedown on average, then set $200,000 aside for payroll so that you know the jobs can be covered. So now you got your payroll set aside, and you also know what your monthly overhead is. Let's pretend it's 20,000. Well, I need to do October, November, December, January, for sure, maybe February. Let's say 5 months. 5 times 20 is another 100,000. So now you have to set aside 300,000 from all your Christmas deposits before you think about touching it, right? Because now you know the jobs you sold will be covered for install, will be covered for takedown, and your operating expenses will be covered so that you can actually fulfill your obligations rather than having to take out a bridge loan or do this or do that or rob Peter to pay Paul. Robbing Peter to pay Paul is a deadly cycle, and I've been on it, and it sucks. And you're just chasing job after job, hoping one hits, hoping you get that landmine, right? That fucking home run that just covers so much of your mistakes, right? Most of us have been there. But when we're thoughtful and we plan ahead with our money, we don't have to live that way. We know exactly what's coming in. We know exactly what's going out. We know exactly what we have to set aside. So whether it's the slow season or whether you're taking Christmas money early, plan for it. So you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you're not even paying the money that you owe other people because you spent it. So now you can't pay the people you owe until you close new work. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Don't live that way. Plan out. And if you're interested in the Captain's Crew money game sheet, it's badass, super easy to use, and is just an awesome way to get a quick eagle eye overview. And it takes you about 10 to 15 minutes a week to keep it up to date. It's badass. You can check out CaptainMattOutdoors.com to look into that. Other than that, guys, let's be wiser with our money. And let's remember, when you're making money, you know bills are coming due. You know you're going to have to pay labor. You know there's overhead costs associated with every job that you take. So plan for it. Set it aside. Do not spend the money that was meant for materials somewhere else. Do not spend the money that was meant for overhead, consulting, advertising somewhere else until you have it set aside in the bank account so that you're not spending the money you know you are going to need. There is no doubt about it. Anyways, that's how you should run your Christmas cash. I hope someone gets some value out of this. This has been Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about Christmas lighting. All right, guys, have a great day.